Coming to you live from the T Sports Center, 4 guys who are underqualified for their current jobs do a podcast known as
Traps Under Plastic. Nailed it.
They got it, yeah.
Are you going to do your job now, John?
No, I was going to do that part. You were going to do this. I don't have it on my phone. You got to read it. This is professional.
This is absolute scuffed. All right. No, okay, the Miniature Hobby Podcast where you learn more about bowel movements and bathroom etiquette than actual mini painting.
And as you all goody peepees of the world can probably see and hear, we are joined by our English counterparts.
Yes.
Technically, I'm not English. I don't want to,
What are you?
Are
you alien?
A little I'm from Jersey, which is a tiny island near France, but it's not technically England, so
You're French?
Wow.
have to say it every
You're French?
possible opportunity. Not exactly, no.
So if I say like
It's
Chatham,
its
you know what that
own
means?
thing. Yeah, of course I know. I love you too.
Oh, nice.
Hey. It's its own little thing. Sorry, I've hogged it already. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the first 10 seconds.
So what you called if
ruined
you're from Jersey?
Idiot.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Well, if it isn't obvious, we have Luke from Geek Gaming Scenics here and Guy from Midwinter Minis joining us because we are in England right now for a Horus Heresy event.
And we thought, what better way to bring the goody peepees what they want, to bring two buffoons that do what we do, but just across the pond, so we can pick their brains and get better at our jobs by learning all their wisdom and then murdering them.
Yes. Absorbing their power and then leaving them as dry, desiccated husks.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it's a little bit of a British invasion this episode. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful to be invited.
So
Thank you.
we do a little bit of a preamble ramble in the beginning, and I have a little thing to start us off here. I wanted to buy a power converter before I came here on Amazon, and I was trying to get it shipped to the hotel, and I was having issues with the address. It wasn't working out. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to amazon.co.uk and try it from that website instead of the American one. And I noticed one small difference between that and the US one. In the UK site, you guys call the cart a basket.
Yeah.
Add it to your basket.
Add to your basket.
Yeah.
How very British.
Yeah. Does
That's
that make it sound like you're not spending as much money if you're just putting it in a
It's
basket?
kind of like a
yeah,
little
yeah.
grocery store shopping thing,
Exactly.
you know?
Your basket could have a whole, home workout kit in it, but it's still just a basket.
Yeah, that, and also you guys have a hatred of stoplights, and so it's just roundabouts and curvy streets forever.
Yes. It's scary.
I have no idea how you guys drive here. It's ridiculous.
I almost don't. I only just passed my tests.
Yeah. We missed a turn earlier, and it added 30 minutes onto our trip. Josh, the driver's like, "Fuck you guys, you're not driving." Yeah.
I know, Guy, you wanted to get this out of the way, so let's just do this now. I need you to give us a swear word right now, your favorite one that you want to say, so then the rest of the episode, you don't feel bad about it, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say it. Just say it right now.
Get it out there.
I quite like piss.
Okay.
I think it's underrated.
Like taking the piss?
No, just as an exclamation, like piss.
Piss. Okay.
Can you guys both teach us a British slang phrase right now that we can take away back to America?
Put wood in oil.
Put wood in oil.
Put the wood in oil.
Oil.
Yeah, it's shut door.
Okay.
Yeah, put the wood in the hole.
What the fuck are you saying, Luke?
Put the wood in the hole.
Okay.
Put wood in oil.
Okay, what does that mean?
Shut the door.
Okay.
Why? It's more words.
Yeah, but not when he says it. It's just like a fluid, like.
Yeah, it's one word.
One word.
Put wood in
Little
oil.
phrase. There you go. It's faster than saying shut the door, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go quite tame on this one. My grandparents, when they wanted to go to the toilet, they used to say, I'm going to go and pay a visit.
Pay a visit.
And I was like, that for me, I was just like, to who?
Where are you going?
Yeah. Like, who's upstairs? Where are you going, Granddad?
And one day you just followed them.
Yeah.
Right?
I was like,
Yeah. And they both went to the bathroom together, and you were like, oh God, no!
No, what?
It's as bad as dropping the kids off.
Yeah, at the pool.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The
pay a
El
visit.
Piscine.
All right.
I thought you'd like that. Pay a visit.
It's French for swimming pool.
Okay, let's talk minis.
Okay.
Or hobby projects if you haven't painted any minis recently.
Okay.
So let's talk about the models you've painted most recently. So, Guy, get us started. What was the last mini you painted?
Thanks for asking, Scott.
Yeah.
I think that's my babies. Let me just show you a picture of something I painted recently.
Okay.
It's that's my
That's just a
children.
picture of yourself.
Here we go. Okay. Well, I haven't. No, sorry.
Is John seeing nudes right now? I want to see nudes.
This isn't painted yet,
Okay.
but I'm not going to show people on the camera.
Okay.
Well,
I just want to get your impressions. I basically, Chaos Space Marine tanks kind of suck, right? They're not.
They're kind of just like a rhino with extra pointy bits.
Exactly, for pointy, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I have a Nurgle army, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of make a special little thing.
Yeah, you painted it in like 23 hours,
didn't
right?
just-
I hate you.
I didn't just paint it, my friend. It has,
Oh, what is that?
yeah.
That's
Okay,
is that
show and tell.
Oh, that's an anus.
Can you describe what you're seeing there?
I see anus with seepage.
This is like a Rorschach test for like
Oh,
miniatures.
teeth. Oh, those real human
Oh,
teeth.
teeth. Oh, no.
Wait,
Those details don't go
Sorry,
together.
Can you just repeat what you
Are
asked?
those real human teeth?
That's exactly what I was going for.
Oh,
So all I'm envisioning now is anal teeth.
Lord Almighty. Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Wait.
yeah. I mean, those look like real teeth.
Are they actual teeth?
You'll see.
You'll see.
It has doors.
Can I describe what we're seeing right now?
Please do, yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing a Land Raider Crusader with a wide variety of conversions, all kinds of fleshiness on it, eyeballs, buttholes with seepage, big old warts. Like it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently painting. It's not
Okay.
quite done yet, but
I mean, there's sexualizing Warhammer, and then there's that.
Yeah. Think of the children, guys. What are you doing?
I always do.
Guys!
No, only because I want to protect them from my horrificness.
Yeah,
I don't think Warhammer has enough buttholes.
Okay, fair.
okay, that's true.
You know, everyone always goes on.
Well,
about,
how do you
like,
know? How do you know?
boobs
Are you picking up
in-
skirts right now?
In miniatures, and who cares?
No, yeah, boobs are lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bums are funny.
You know that
Bums are funny. Bums are funny. And also, like Nurgle, it's like the stinky stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
Let's just
Yeah.
right on the nose with that.
thank you.
This
Exactly.
is the
Right on the
stinkiest
nose.
thing.
Yeah. All right. Luke, what have you painted or done like a terrain project most recently?
Well, it went live today, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I've done a ATST and some Ewoks with the Ewok traps, smashing it in from Return of the
nice.
Jedi.
The logs, yeah.
And I was using the new Archive X paints, which were quite nice. If you like grey,
Yeah. Big fan of Greg.
I got a deal for you.
you need to buy this paint range. I'm sure it's 98% grey.
Okay.
So
The paint handles well and stuff like that?
it seems to. I mean, they take some shaking, a lot of shaking.
Yeah,
but I did only stipple
lot
and
of
dry
practice,
brush,
Lee.
obviously, because that's miniature painter and that. High professional. But yes, they seem to cover well, and if you don't know what colours to paint it, they do have a spreadsheet on their website. So
wonderful.
it was interesting, but what I actually liked about the paints is I actually airbrushed painted stuff.
All right.
I
Okay.
actually airbrushed the entire diorama with them, but they're all very muted.
Yeah.
So like all the browns, all the ochres, and everything's very nice.
Yeah. Okay.
So it just worked very, 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 very easily.
So is it a paint range that's focused like at like historical like players and stuff like that?
No,
use a lot of-
Archive X is. I think they've took actual color samples from props from Star Wars.
Oh.
So if you paint, So
Okay.
if you're painting like Legion, or if you're painting, like scale models of Star Wars, you can get it near as bang on.
Yeah,
as
it's like
possible.
I was reading about it. It's like color match to the props, isn't
Yeah.
it, rather than the film.
Nice.
So it's like whatever the lighting is in the film, it's
Yeah.
it's like true to the actual thing that it was. It's,
Yeah.
Nice.
it's a nice little touch. A nice
Okay.
little touch. It reminds me of the HMG, the paint company in the UK. It's like the biggest paint company, or one of the biggest in Europe, and they produce hobby paints for tons of companies.
Everyone.
Not everyone, but a lot of companies.
Yeah, yeah.
And they do like perfect color matches for military stuff.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Okay.
So they were like, but the reason they can do perfect color matches is because they made the paints for the tanks, like in the Second World War. And
Oh, so they have the recipe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So people are like,
that's so
like
cool.
how, like, well, I need to paint, for this diorama, I need to have this exact, like unit that was deployed in West Africa in this year and not that year because
Yeah.
they changed the thing. And they're
Yeah.
like, yep, look in the book. That's what it was. That's
That's
the
so
recipe.
cool.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay. Cool. On to what I painted. Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not like you.
I know. Paint more minis. You're the guy that says that. Why aren't you painting things? We went to Washington. We came back. I did a bunch of moving stuff into my new office space, and then we came to England. And I haven't painted anything. The last thing I painted was that Primark, which we're seeing, and I already talked about that. So I have nothing to show for myself.
Way to contribute nothing at all
I
to this
know.
podcast.
I know. Other than dead noise.
Yeah.
Think of all the people you've inspired to paint things.
Yeah. That's what counts, right?
Yeah, that's
Way to blow smoke up his ass, guy. It's like,
I mean, how
I
many
did say I'd be
people?
nice to him today.
How many people have been inspired to do a Titan?
Yeah.
Finish painting
At
one.
least Shut up. Listen, it's,
I nearly bought one just to do it and say I've done it and finished it.
I'm going to do the thing. It's fucking huge.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Yeah.
Like, when I started it in my tiny little 3 meter by 3 meter room that I was using as my home studio, I was just like, where am I going to, like to get the bits out to figure out what goes together? Where am I going to put it?
Yeah.
And I was like, can I just, like, put it all over the dining table? I was like, that's going to make me pretty unpopular.
Yeah.
I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll rent an office.
Even the wells.
Yeah.
Why would
As
that make
in-
you unpopular? I'm confused.
By having filing deadly resin on a dining table.
Oh,
And little babies around that put everything in their mouth.
but you can clean that up
Surprise.
afterwards, can't you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. What'd you paint, John?
I painted a budgie. Do you guys know what a budgie is?
No.
Yeah.
Regard.
You know what budgie is?
A budgie smuggler?
Oh.
It's a budgie pirate.
How are you such a good painter?
Thank you. I watch all of Luke's videos. So I had to paint that.
That is very cute, I
I
must
had-
admit.
Yeah, I had to paint that on Monday because our plane left yesterday, and I'm like, I need to have the mini painted for my next video, so when we get back from England, I can just make the video. I have no idea what the video is going to be on,
Man,
guys.
this model's trash, John.
Yeah.
It's
You're a
it's-
clever shit. That's what you are.
Yeah, it's cute as a button.
Honestly, this doesn't even look like a model that you painted. This looks like it's painted by someone else.
Looks like it. What? It looks
And I
like
mean
it's
that
done
in an
from a-
entirely positive way.
What were them shop? What do you call it? Chinskis? A
Yes.
Chinsky shop. It should be in one of them.
Oh, a tchotchke?
Tchotchke.
Yeah.
It's just a little porcelain figure I bought off the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we can touch on this in a minute, but or like later in the podcast. But I do find the way you make videos quite interesting because I know because you've said it before in our little chats. Yeah, sorry, I'm just like delicately
just
touching the
circles.
table.
Yeah.
That you like often just paint a thing and then you figure out what context you're going to give it to
Yeah,
create a video.
yeah.
I found that quite interesting because like I do the opposite. I suppose I like think of an interesting video concept and then I go like, how can I show that in the best way?
Yeah,
So
I think
then
both are valid approaches. But
Totally,
we can
totally.
talk about it more for
But
sure.
what I mean is like because we have like pretty much opposite.
Yeah.
It's like it's really hard to wrap my head around doing it the total opposite way. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes
Same
sense.
with me. I've got to discuss how can I make another video of how to paint this group of models terribly and make it interested in watching it.
That looks really nice, actually.
Actually, okay.
Well, I mean, like,
Backhanded compliment.
there's a style of paint that you have, and that just seems like a tier above. I think the color selection is fantastic. I think all the attention is being pulled to the right area, and everything else that doesn't need that attention is like still painted well, but just the color selection is great on those areas as well.
You
That's
see,
real backhanded compliments.
see the drop shadow on the pipe?
Let me check.
The bit that got me was the little bit of green under its eye.
Yeah.
That little bit of dark green on the eye.
I had to do that later on because it was like there was not enough depth. Because there's a lot of nice. This is just 3D,
How big is that?
3D printed. About
Careful with
half a Kinder Egg.
Oh, speaking of beautiful set dressing done by the one and only Vince Venturella. Thank you,
Yes.
Vince.
Vincey V.
Twinkies, because we're American.
And Kinder Eggs because we're American.
And we can't eat
And
those
we
without
can't
dying.
eat these. These are illegal
Yeah.
in America because all the children eat the toys.
Yeah, because they're idiots.
Yeah, and that's kind of the history of America in a nutshell.
Are we going to see what's inside?
Or an eggshell.
Yeah, we need to all open our Kinder Egg.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
If I hit you with this, is
Whoa, that came off really easy.
Hello. This might potentially be very
we-
annoying for audio listeners. Oh wait, no, it just opens.
It just
yeah.
opens.
Yeah, yeah.
You just
don't have to crack
really gently squeeze. And
we're in wrong industry. If
we
we
have to-
actually do this on
we
camera,
have to
we'd
paint
get
what's on the
millions.
yeah, I know,
I know,
right? I know,
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Well, maybe this could be a
We should paint
toy
these.
opening and mukbang.
Yeah, we should. We should.
be
Toy
millionaires.
opening and Kinder Egg mukbang.
Oh, goodness. So let me describe what I have. I have a little car in 3 separate pieces.
Oh, wonderful.
Do you need some plastic cement for that?
No. This actually is monopose and just
monopose.
slots together.
Slotty bases.
I have a Wall-E-esque robot-looking thing.
Right. And it only has 3 bits, but I'm going to look at the instructions.
Which language do you need?
Not Hebrew. Here we go. That on first. Okay.
All right, we're not doing this right now, are we?
What? What? Just go about your business.
Quality content. That's what this is.
This became an assembly
Quality.
stream right
Yeah.
here.
Oh, it's a weapon. Christ.
Oh no,
Guys,
it's not allowed.
I don't know what this is.
I got a Smurf.
This
Oh.
is
There's a Smurf. There's a whippy car.
Perfect.
Oh, it does do a thing.
That is like
It opens.
That's a man with a gun.
it is.
Look. It
All
opens,
right.
like-
Well, this is a perfect segue into the sponsor for this video.
What's up, goody peepees? It is the voice of the bodiless spirit known as John to tell you about today's sponsor, Rivenstone, the hot new tabletop skirmish game which is live on Kickstarter right now. Rivenstone is an alternating activation skirmish-style war game set in a fantasy world where magic is a physical resource which grows out of great crystalline deposits called, you guessed it, Rivenstone. The rules are easy to understand and play with loads of strategic depth to explore and experience on the tabletop. Players can collect, paint, and play their personal warband of miniatures as they battle each other for control of the crystal. Factions include the Shattered Empire, Oryx, Iron Guard, and my personal favorite, the Risen. The quality of the miniatures is top priority for the team behind Rivenstone, and they are expertly crafted to be both beautiful and approachable by painters of all skill levels. They are produced in something called CO Cast Hard, and it's a material that I just love, having tried it out and painting with it myself. It holds ultra crisp detail and is extremely durable. Since the launch of the Kickstarter, supporters of the game have unlocked stretch goal after stretch goal, and with a week and a half until this campaign closes, let's see what other goodies we can get unlocked. I even heard whispers of sexy battle mats that we could get. So you've got until May 26th to check out this brand new game on Kickstarter, so check out the link in the video description or show notes before it's too late.
All right, let's get on to the main topic. This is the real meat and potatoes of why we're here, and Kinder Eggs, right? Kinder Eggs are the dessert.
Yeah.
I've eaten my Kinder Egg.
Yeah, John
Guy threw his Kinder Eggs across the room. Luke is helping me out and doing his part, and Scott is just looking at them kind of with a little bit of disgust.
I'll eat it after the episode, not during the episode like a heathen. Okay?
Yeah, well,
Someone has some professionalism.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I'm just thinking, how much glycine do I need?
Yeah. Okay, so what do we want to talk about now that we have these two cornered in a room with all the doors locked, Scott?
Well, let's talk about. I'm sure you've probably answered this question before in a video before. Let's briefly mention your introduction to the hobby. You know, maybe how old you were when you first were exposed to it, like when you really got excited about it, and like how the local area in England itself kind of assisted with your enthusiasm for the hobby. And we'll start with Guy.
I was 9 years old.
Okay.
And
They took you at a young age.
it certainly did. So it was definitely my next door neighbour's, my next door neighbour, but he was like slightly younger than me, but he had just one day when I went round to his house, he had this tiny little miniature, the little Space Marine 2nd edition monopost Space Marine that came on the cover of White Dwarf.
The big chunky one, right?
Boom,
Yeah.
classic pose, yeah.
Right.
And I was like, this is the coolest little thing I've ever seen in my life. I need it. Do you know what I mean? What is it?
Yeah.
And I found out, and I asked my family for a Christmas present because it's coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
And I got a box of Space Marine Tactical Marines, Tactical Squad, back in the old blue box days. I think it was six metal models in the box, plastic arms. And it was my grandparents that bought it for me, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, and my grandmother was like, not being mean, but she was like born in poverty and like really valued stuff and investments in things. And she was like, "This is really expensive. You better paint it." And I was like,
Gosh. You were a 9-year-old at this point? This is your grandma
yeah.
saying this?
Oh, she was pretty full on.
Yeah.
She called me a twat a couple of times. not when I was 9, but
Was it in relation to the Space Marines?
no, it wasn't.
You twat, paint those models.
yeah. That's when I painted them as Imperial fists. No. So that was basically how I started.
Right,
I did
yeah.
paint them, and then my dad, for my birthday after that, bought me the 2nd edition box set when I was 10.
Yeah.
And that was like amazing. Obviously, 'cause it's 80 models, incredible. I played it a lot with him as
Yeah.
well.
Is that a meaningful memory for you?
Very much so, because I was. This is gonna sound like kind of lame, and maybe it's too much for like a geeky podcast. But like, literally days before my dad died, like a couple of years ago, I was kind of plucking up the courage to tell him about the channel, because it was like taking off a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is the nice thing that we used to do, and it's like nice memories. And
Damn.
yeah. Sorry, just like
Hey, no, that's totally. We
like
want all the
labeling that
emotion.
conversation, but that's kind of why it's special to me. I
Thank you for
suppose.
sharing.
That's okay. Yeah, so it's like difficult and it's bittersweet in a way, but it's yeah, that's why it's special to me, and
That's
it
awesome.
still is, and that's I still find that kind of like joy in it, and especially for the nostalgic stuff, because it's like it's good times, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, you know, maybe even people who aren't or who weren't of the generation who were around when that early stuff or the sort of Middle Hammer stuff came out, but they still appreciate the kind of nostalgia for it, and I think it's because it's that kind of like, it's a bit of a simpler time. Everything wasn't quite as maybe as intense as it is now in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, kind of mentally trying to find that sort of contentment again.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep, right?
No, yeah. I
maybe too deep,
I think
sorry.
we probably all feel what you're saying right
yeah,
now.
totally.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. So were you plugged into a local gaming scene at all? Did you go to a store regularly?
Jersey, tiny little island, just for context, it's like 9 miles by 5. And when I was born, the population was like 75,000. Okay. So it's like quite small, but quite dense.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
And now it's
Like
like
me.
100,000.
Small and dense.
That's just how I like it. Don't worry about it. Now, let me tell you, there was like one place that you could buy Warhammer, and like, you know, mail order kind of existed, but how are you supposed to find out about it? Do you know what I mean? On this tiny island.
Yep.
And there's this one tiny little shop called The Little Shop on Conway Street in Jersey, and they had so much, and it was like you know, by today's standards, they only had like one tiny wall with things on it, but it was like back in the blister pack days, and you know, you have to like look through everything, and it was cool. And the lady who owned it, I think she like still runs this shop like 30 years later, and she was like a hard sell on the paints. Every time I went in, she was like, "Look at this one,
Yeah.
amethyst purple. It's shiny. The purple. Give it to me. Paint my face with it." Yeah, it was an easy sell. Yeah, it was a tiny little place. There wasn't really that big a community. I mostly just sort of played it with a couple of friends from school, and then sort of drifted out of the hobby, as a lot of people do.
Yeah, you had your hiatus,
Like
your high school,
teenage
college.
years when things get a bit more difficult. You maybe start to, you know, think about other things.
Yeah, I had a
interpersonal
hiatus.
relationships.
You did. Did you have one where you kind of
had-
floated away and
yeah,
came back?
yeah.
That's so bizarre.
I know, right? You come back. Well, I came back in my late 20s, like 28, 29. Very gently. cheeky Acadian shock troop squad and a chimera. I was like, that's not very nerdy, is it? That's almost normal.
Yeah. You're normal. You're a normal guy.
There's
Don't
no, like,
worry
mutants
about
or
it.
anything, yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, and then like, I don't know, fast forward 7 years, and I've got like
Too much.
several thousand miniatures. At least 1,000 of them painted, probably. But yeah,
That's amazing.
Those are rookie numbers. You need to boost up those numbers.
Yeah, rookie numbers.
yeah, it's going to be 1,001 soon.
Uh-oh.
Titan time.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
Yeah.
All right, Luke, hit us with it.
Well, my grandparents, when I was probably around 9, 10, bought me the Citadel starter set.
Grandparents,
yeah.
same kind of story.
The red and blue box with the
So
Chaos
beautiful.
Guy and the Space Marine flamethrower, I think it was, on
Okay.
the sprue.
It was one of the random space
Yeah,
marines.
yeah.
So it could have been a flamethrower, yeah.
So I got that, and they got me a white dwarf with it, which had one of the first Necron models. And I painted that as a kid, and I always used to flick through the White Dwarf magazines, and that's what they used to get me.
Yeah.
And the funny story about why I dropped out of Warhammer is because parents had no interest in what I was actually doing.
Yeah.
So I was absolutely in awe over the Praetorian Guard.
Okay.
And I really wanted them models. So my mum went to Argos, which is like a big laminated book of dreams with there's so many beautiful things in it, you can't possess them all.
Oh my gosh.
And she
yes.
bought me the fantasy with the lizard men and Bretonians. And then when that come, I looked at that and I was like, I can't paint that. And I never did anything with it till about 7 years ago.
Do you still have it?
No.
Okay.
I obviously went like like everybody else, you put it in loft and it goes.
Yeah.
So then through like teens and everything else, just dropped out of it. And then relationship falling to bits. and I was like, I was bored. I went road a lot being a musician, and I literally went into like a late night. I think it was like Sainsbury's or something, and I bought a model kit, like an Airfix model kit with the paints and a terrible brush in it, and I literally took pictures of what I did and I put it up on this World War II diorama site, and they couldn't believe that I'd bought it, built it, and painted it in such a small time, and a few of them were actually quite thinking about it.
Yeah.
So then that got me into bolt action, and then within 12 months, I was doing YouTube.
So when did Luke's Affordable Paint Service become a thing?
That was 7 years ago, and I've been on YouTube 6.
Okay, so you had like a commission service, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was literally just from people. They liked how quickly I was just doing things and knocking it out. And I got to the point where I was doing about an army a week.
Okay.
But it, again, to like the topic of this video, it was more paint. Like the game I play is Kings of War, so it was painting things as a whole rather than painting individuals.
Yeah.
So as if it represented nice, and you painted it all, so it were. See the models that you could see and from the angle that you play with them at.
Right, yeah,
So you
of
paint
course.
from looking down, so high contrast at the top and everything else is quite dull.
Yeah.
It looks good on the table, and that's what we're doing. And I was just smashing them out. And
Yeah.
then people said I should record it, so I did.
You did. Okay. Well, let's kind of dive into this. You've made several comments since we've been here now about how you're like some crappy painter, or like you're not like a real miniature painter. Why do you think that? What are you comparing yourself to, or like what metric are you trying to reach?
I don't know, because like I do like to sit and paint.
Yeah.
And I think I can paint okay.
Sure.
As in, I can't
You
do
can
anything.
paint.
Yeah. I
Come
can't
on.
do anything flashy, but I
Right.
can paint something and people do pick it up and say it looks good.
Yeah.
You know? But when I paint something, because normally with the games I play, I've got so much to play, and there's no way I could sit and paint an individual model to what I would like to sit and enjoy the paint job. I have to treat miniatures like I treat terrain.
Sure.
It's the whole shabam. So it's treat like as long as it's consistent and the colours are there and it looks okay from arm's length, and then you base it all and it's all very coherent, it just looks so much as a whole rather than an individual model.
Right. So you're doing this 10,000-foot view of like units and armies, not individual models, like a big board of terrain.
Yeah. So if you look at a big board of terrain, you don't see the mistakes because there's that much going off.
Right.
So when you put a big horde of models down, 10 of them might be painted well, or you might have only concentrated on the foreheads from the front, and like everything else is in shadow or however you've painted it, and that looks amazing. So, and that's the immersion side of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It treat it like a train set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay, I want to do.
I feel like I'm emceeing this right now.
Since-
so please take it away.
Well, that's why I feel I'm shit, because all I do is paint stuff and lob a wash on it.
I think we all agree that you're not. Like, but it works really well.
Yeah.
It's like a very effective method of doing it. And it's like, I'm not saying low effort, but it's like low time investment.
Yeah.
Certainly, considering how many things you're painting. It's kind of the same way I do as well. Just like finding cheaty little techniques that work for that particular thing.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily work on everything, but like for that particular model in that particular style, easy.
Paint as little as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. and you're really gearing towards those that are maybe gamers first, painters second, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to have this impressive thing at the table. Because even people that consider themselves gamers first and painters fifth, they still, when they want to be proud of or they want their thing to look cool. And this is like, look, you can do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that's unobtainable, and I think people really resonate with that. So,
I think the majority of people on YouTube resonate with that.
Yes.
I think majority of people are beginners, and they are interested in playing the game mostly, and they're not interested in spending 10 hours, 5 hours on a single model, right? 30 minutes on a single model when you're batch painting. That's like, a great standard.
I want to take this opportunity to ask Luke a question that I've been burning to ask him for roughly 9 months.
I'm shitting myself.
Okay. Now
It's not yours.
the origin of this question came about when we were at VincyCon.
Oh my God, yes, I know this question.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Right, okay.
Okay, we were at VincyCon 2021, and we're all together. And usually late at night at VincyCon, we're deep within our cups, and we're watching videos on YouTube and just laughing and having a good time.
Laughing at everything.
And we brought up the most classic, the most notorious Luke's APS video.
Right.
You know which one it is, right?
Is it the shed wood stain dip?
No.
No.
It's the river tutorial.
All right, okay.
And it's not about what he painted in this video.
Or even what he did in the video at all.
Or the topic of the video at all.
It's my brother.
John, you gotta explain it though.
Okay.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay,
we're gonna
calm down now.
We're going to put a link to the video in the description below in the show notes, so you can go over immediately after this episode and watch this video that has an obscene amount of views in it. Obscene amount of views in this video, and it's because of your brother.
I've unlisted it, you know.
You have?
You know,
why?
but I can. I'll link it. And
You
we'll
give
put
me
it
the
back.
link.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it
well,
at his brother's naked ass?
Yes. His brother, through the majority of this video.
It's right at the end, because what it was is the video was back then. I didn't edit anything. I didn't do anything, and I was just practicing with resin. That was the whole point of it.
Yeah.
And I'd built this modular river, and I was just like, I can't be bothered with it. I didn't even edit it. I didn't even proof watch it. I just linked it together. I put a fade to black between each.
Yes.
Turning off of the camera.
Right.
Pro YouTuber.
Yes.
And I threw it up, and literally I just started getting comments about, did I just see some tubber walking in his boxer shorts? And my brother, because we're on a GoPro with stupidly wide angle, my brother comes and sits slightly in frame.
Yes.
Wearing nothing but boxer shorts.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's not even the best part of the video. I mean, that is the best part, but it's more than just that, right, John?
Yeah. It's the fact that you have no idea he's there, or you don't realize he's on camera.
Or you just don't give a fuck.
Or you don't care.
I didn't think it, because obviously I'd never used to monitor myself back then.
Right, yeah.
Everything was in focus.
Yeah.
So it was just like, he came and sat down, and I'm like, well, he's over there, like the other
It's
side
fine.
of the room.
He's right on your hip, right behind you. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know if he's eating a fucking sandwich or what he was doing, but he's just there. He's like scratching his beer belly, and he's just sitting there, and you can just see every bulge and wrinkle. Everyone. Okay.
Height of summer, old house. That's all, third floor. That's all I'm saying.
And then in a later scene, because this was towards the end of the video, and then there's like a final scene, and you like move the camera so now it's facing about like 90 degrees, and you're at a different
studied
angle.
this.
He fucking walks behind you and sits behind you again. He's like trolling you. And as he sits down, like you get a full ass shot of him sitting down, and I'm not sure those undies were perfectly clean. Okay, I mean, it was.
There was a lovely
glorious.
off-white colour, wasn't there?
Yeah. And I could tell you, because like we're all sitting there, and like Vince is like, "Wait for it." We're like, "What are we watching? What are we watching?" And like this is an early Luke episode. Wait for it, and we just lost our minds. He just walks in and sits down, and it was the most hilarious thing. And so I had to know, who is this man, and did you know that this thing happened?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It was my little brother, but obviously I didn't know till I started getting... The video got like, in the first month it went up, it got like 20,000 views, which for then was a lot.
Amazing, yeah.
And then 1 week it got 1 point something million views. Sex sells, boy.
And it was all because of your brother's
My little
boxers.
brother, in his boxer shorts, prancing round.
And you never see his face. That's the best part. It's just this
don't wanna-
faceless mound of man that is just there. It was great. Okay, I'm so happy I know the answer to this, and I got that story in person.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I'll what I'll do is that I'll put the video back on, as in,
absolutely.
just so people can
As
watch
celebration.
It. Yeah.
It's celebration.
That is something I really love, and I don't want to say loved, but like love about your channel in two different ways. That you started off so raw, right? And it was just like experimenting, very low tech, very honest, and like just totally straightforward.
And now you're saying I'm honest.
No. But like,
And now you lying.
Now I'm a shill.
no. But you've what I'm saying is you've retained that honesty, and experimental spirit, and your personality. I think you've just like upped the game in terms of the way you deliver it.
Do you want to stay in my room tonight?
I'm just, I think you need to hear that.
Oh, thank you.
I also, to add on to that, I think of all the YouTubers that I chat with, you probably have the vastest array of camera knowledge. And this is over the course of the last 3 years, and I've been doing this for like a decade.
Yeah.
So it's impressive how much you've learned so quickly.
I didn't sleep for 3 years.
I know.
I'm now on medication for that as well.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the next part of the question, which I think we can all talk about.
Sure.
And it's like, and this is kind of an open-ended question intentionally. Is where do you find joy in the hobby? So it's like we make videos, and sometimes we make videos, and we don't think about that. We do what we think gets views, and if we do that enough, it kind of comes at a cost, right? You kind of start to hate your hobby. You dread painting models. So I think it's really important for us to kind of dig deep and figure out what we really enjoy doing. And you probably all thought about this because you probably want to make videos doing that thing most often to make this fun and enjoyable. So John, get us started. What do you enjoy? Where do you find joy in this hobby?
To me, the biggest thing is I'm coming from spending 20 years in the professional stiff wear a suit every day job.
Yeah.
And so it's not very hard for me to realize the most painful, most despisable thing that I do as a YouTuber would probably count as like my second most favorite thing to do in my everyday former job.
So this is like a step up. Like it's way high.
I have perspective about having a soul-sucking corporate job for so long,
right.
and so it's not hard if it's a mini I don't love, or if it's a video idea that I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I still find out it's like I'm an hour into painting or an hour into kit bashing or making something. I'm like, I just love this. And so it's like that where I don't feel like it's a job for most of it. It's except for like the last 50% of editing where you just like have to crank out those hours.
Yeah.
And so I just need to hire someone to do that part. So
Hattie over there, she's available, right, guys?
Hattie, help me!
a little woo in the background.
So yeah, I just find like the only thing that I struggle with is the fact that I don't get to do enough for like my own hobby, for my own gaming, and for like my own enjoyment of models that are my favorite in my free time.
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly trying to think of creative ways to do that. So
Yeah.
that's an ongoing struggle for me. But yeah, I love painting. I love painting parakeets, man. What can I say?
You're very good at it, apparently.
Yeah, that's my calling.
Can I come and pull its head off and then tape it back on and give it back to you?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Like Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah. Oh, Petey! He didn't get the reference.
Someone hasn't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
Someone hasn't seen it.
Do you actually watch TV?
No, I don't. So, yeah, I don't watch anything on a screen ever, so we can all just stop talking about it.
That's fair.
Okay. We'll go on like this. You're next.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
What are we talking about? Finding joy in the hobby, right?
Yeah, so like maybe you've kind of realized that there can be a little bit of a soul-sucking element to YouTube if you do it the wrong way.
Well, the way I kind of get around that, cheat my brain.
You don't have a soul.
I don't have a soul to begin with. Hacks. Checkmate, losers, with your souls. No. Basically, I have to separate it. So the hobby, making and painting and playing games and models, is my hobby. That's not my job. Mm-hmm. My job is filming that and thinking of context to talk about what I've done, enjoying my hobby, and film and edit.
So
and
saying
put out
that
videos.
is enough for you to separate
No,
it?
but it is. So
Is
like,
it?
yeah. So like, my job does like kind of butt into my hobby sometimes because I actually have to set up the shop and like, maybe think about what I'm doing slightly more than as if I was just sitting down and doing it for funsies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the joy I find in that is still my hobby. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
When I stop doing that, so say for example, on an average week, I might, be able to enjoy my hobby for 2.5, 3 days. I mean, if it's a 1 week video, often at the moment they're like 2 weeks. But like say 3 or 4 days, I get to actually just enjoy my hobby in the day. Great. And then, in the next sort of like 3, 4, 5 days or whatever, that's my job. Do you know what I mean?
So it's sitting down and painting.
Yeah.
So it's the same for you. Okay. Is there some element of like gameplay that you both seek out, or is
I
that
absolutely love board games.
board games specifically?
Board
not
games. I would say I enjoy board games more than board games and video games, really, more than tabletop games. But I there is that kind of completionist element in my brain where I'm like, I've got all of these miniatures painted. I want to play a game.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. Do you know what I mean? That's fun.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on painting a model that does not have a game attached to it? So
No, not interested.
display miniatures.
Zero interest.
Zero interest.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't bother me at all. How many games a year do you play?
Well, like,
Well, hey, let me ask this question: how many hours do you spend gaming a month?
well, like the old cheeky lockdown kind of changed that a
So
little bit, didn't it?
before COVID.
Well, it's kind of difficult, right? Because that's sort of when I was getting back into the hobby and like making new contacts. Like I would say, like a weekly game is my aim, but it doesn't always happen. You know?
So you might spend 4 hours playing a game. And would it be fair to say you spend 30 hours painting models?
Well, it depends on what I'm doing at the time.
But like in an average week, would you say that?
It entirely depends on what I'm doing for the video. So, like for example, your lovely models that you sent me, I intentionally painted those in one day because I wanted to show people that you can get decent results, as always.
Yeah.
Like by not actually like smashing your brain out trying to paint something
Right.
very, very
Right.
beautiful finesse, and there's like cheaty ways to do it. So each one took about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in one day. I started it in the afternoon, and then I let the washes dry, and then finished it off the next morning.
Yeah.
So I have that footage ready to go. Do you know what I mean? And then actually putting that video together is going to be like a day or two.
Okay.
So
I guess maybe the point I'm trying to make, and I'm kind of pressuring you right now a little bit intentionally.
That's fine.
You probably spend 4 times more painting and hobbying than you do gaming, right?
very much.
So what about painting a model that's not attached to a game is like a roadblock for you?
The purpose, I suppose.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to say like I'm not interested and I would never ever do it.
Sure,
Because,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like if it was a cool model, then I might be tempted. But
Yeah, you're not going to offend anyone here, so
no. But like
Let it rip.
like some people, like get like a superhero model or something and pick those up.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Are you not into like kind of like geeky tchotchke stuff for like decoration purposes?
Not at all. No.
Do you have display cases for your miniatures?
I do now. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I just erected them.
I'd like to know in the comments how many Goody Peepees are like Guy here, where if it's not attached to either a current game you're playing, army you're playing, or a potential, like I think I'm going to get into this and I want to try out one model. How many people have like, that's how I work. That's how my brain works. Because I would feel that that's probably more the norm than the exception.
I think
because
70% probably, right?
most
Right in
people
there.
are like, if I love this thing, I'm interested in this thing, I have such a finite amount of hours in my week, my month. I want it to be for a thing, even if I don't get to play very much. It feels like it's getting me closer to that, or I'll be able to experience the game at a better level because I'll have this painted.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty common feeling.
Yeah, but you enjoy the painting process, right? It's not a means to an end.
Enjoying is, I wouldn't say it's like, I find painting quite relaxing and cathartic.
Okay.
Not like, I don't go like, do you know what I really love doing? I love painting. I'm going to sit down and really enjoy painting right now.
Like a video game, like that is
No,
enjoyable.
exactly. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Depending
Okay.
on the game, but yeah, 100%. It's totally different like ways of enjoying your time. you know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I've never heard the division. You know, it's relaxing and cathartic, but not necessarily entertaining in a way a video game is, or in a way a movie is,
Yeah,
etc.
It's
Yeah.
not the painting the models that you enjoy, it's the feeling that you're having while you're sat relaxing painting the models. Is that what you're saying?
Often watching other people's
Yeah.
go.
It's very much like me. I'm
listening
painting
to-
for a reason.
Yeah.
And usually the process is, because I like to complete things, hence why I try and get everything done. So it's, to me, it's the process of getting it done is the bit that I actually really enjoy, rather than the painting itself.
Ticking a box.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, I've got, like, in January, I went to 2 events, to 2 game systems that I've never played before, and I painted up 2 armies in January. I went and played them. And I love that.
Yeah.
And now I've got 2 armies that look cool on a shelf.
Yeah.
As well. Even if I might not take to the game, I've still got some cool little things that I'll use in other games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you so you're similar to Guy? Then you would not paint a display model.
I've done a bust, and nobody watched it.
Well, would you want to do it for your own enjoyment?
Yeah, I enjoy. I mean, it were a Slayer, so I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoy painting dwarves, obviously.
Yeah.
And if there's something like, if there's a cool bit, it might not be a bust, but if there's a cool big model, I do enjoy sitting down and painting it. But for the same reason, I'm not enjoying painting. I'm enjoying the mood that I'm in while I'm painting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because after I've painted it, I can sometimes just go, I'll print bin.
Yeah.
Like, I can do a whole project and throw it away.
Really?
Yeah, because it's the process of it that I enjoy rather than the actual
The
thing
end
at
result.
The end. Yeah. When it comes to like dioramas and things, it's like I get a picture, I'm done.
This is Ben Cantor, the UK
Yes.
version.
Yeah.
And we have a friend. He actually painted the 75mm version of my witch for me, and he filmed a master class for it. And the last shot of the class is him taking that model and putting it in a bucket of Simple Green. It's like what he thinks is the product of my work is the photo, not the model.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's such a unique way of thinking.
Yeah.
Because like I definitely do not think that way. I want to keep that thing.
edgy.
I want to get dust on it and put it in a case. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I want.
Some of the stuff that I build, though, I do it and then go, where the fuck am I going to put that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because your terrain stuff is huge.
Some of it, So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of answered the question, where do you find joy in the hobby? It's in the completion of tasks and checking things off in a box, not necessarily the end result. Is that accurate?
The joy for me is, miniature painting is different, but if it comes to terrain,
Yeah, so
the joy for me is finding the most economic way to build something. Whether that be speed, whether that be cost, whether that be, like I say, I don't paint terrain. I don't paint unless I have to.
Heresy.
Yeah, so it's like I said, the whole point of my entire product range is the fact that I find the colours of the stones that I want, and then I have them ground down to sort of look good, and I don't paint anything. And the reason it looks natural is, guess what?
It's natural.
Because it's fucking natural.
Yeah, hey.
I get so stressed when I see people building stuff, and they pour all these lovely like dirts and coconut fibres, and they grind them up and get them right fine, and I go, that looks quite nice, and then they spray it black and then paint it back the same bloody colour. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Listen, mate. A very important part of the miniature hobby is learning to paint rocks like rocks.
It's true. So if you wanted the devil's advocate reason why you would paint rocks, it's to have control over every variable in the scene.
Yes.
So if you're doing a display model, you're going to want to light the base in a certain way to draw attention to the model in the center of it, things like that.
Yeah.
But for gaming, it may not make much sense.
No.
Yeah.
And on a gaming table, you're not going to do that.
No,
No.
you're not.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I got a real quick follow-up.
Yeah.
Just a 2-second question for both of these guys. Since we're all video game players here, is it safe to say, and this is just coming to my head now, is it safe to say that video games for you are more enjoyable than mini painting, but mini painting has higher satisfaction?
Gaming doesn't complete me because I don't own anything.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I started painting, because I did computer game quite a lot before I started miniature painting. But the problem is you complete a game, and what have you got? Especially now, you don't even own a box.
Steam achievements.
Yeah, you don't even own a box.
Yeah.
You don't own a rule book. You don't own any sort of special thing.
Physical
for that
memory
box.
card.
Collector's edition.
There's nothing like that
Yeah.
anymore. But with a paint job, when you've actually painted it, you've got something and you own it, and it's like you can look at it and go, I did that.
Okay.
That's satisfaction.
Yeah.
All right.
Computer games, you can't do that, can you?
Okay. Satisfaction versus enjoyment, guy.
It's a really tricky one. So there are a couple of games that I've played that kind of have stuck with me. Do you know what I mean? And like, not necessarily influenced, maybe influenced me as a person.
Now you have to tell us one of what they are so we can judge you.
Like my favorite game of all time is Deus Ex from 2000.
Okay.
The first one in the franchise.
Okay.
And you know, it's like hit me at the perfect time when I was like 15, and now I'm like a very distrusting of authority kind of person.
You should come to America. That's in our blood.
Yeah, and like very suspicious of a lot of things. But yeah, I know what you mean. There is some kind of like instant gratification in like playing games, but then it depends on the type.
Yep.
One of the kind of style of game I really like is just the old stuff, like stuff from the sort of like
RTSs.
late 80s and 90s and maybe early noughties, and they were like fast. You could like, if you were good at them, you could like play them and finish them in an hour, and you like get a bit of a sense of accomplishment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
And like I remember when I was, I don't know, like way too young to be able to do it. I was like 5 or 6, 7 maybe. Finished Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
It's not an easy game.
No. And I tried recently, and I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't. How come 7-year-old guy could do it, and like 37-year-old guy can't do it? Come on, brain.
Somebody needs to tell Nintendo Mario isn't for fucking kids.
Or it is. It's not for adults.
No, that's the problem.
The amount of time I've thrown Wii out a window.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like there's definitely satisfaction in video games. I'm a big fan of MOBAs. And one of the things about those games is they're incredibly punishing to people who aren't good at them, and that any amount of tiny skill you get equates to an increase in matchmaking rating. And so like when you can get up into the higher ranks over like the course of 6 months of grinding out a game, it is very satisfying.
My counter to that is I think that I don't disagree with that. I think that satisfaction is so fleeting because I played an amazing game. I carried our team for the win. It feels good. Requeue. That
Right.
satisfaction is gone. Whereas if I paint a mini, and not only just for YouTube, but just sitting on my shelf or giving it as a gift or using it as a game, like that, you get this drip feed throughout your life for years to come where it's just like this little tiny hit. It's like, oh, man, that's right. I painted this little budgie right here.
Yeah, but I still get a drip feed from like being a duelist rated 2v2 player in WoW Arena. You know, like back in the day. Like when
So many words.
When I think
Yeah,
about
so
that,
many words.
it's like,
Mean
oh,
nothing.
it's like I know it means nothing to you, but I was like, 2v2 was important to me. I did well enough to get a certain title, duelist.
Yes.
And when I think about that, it's like, okay, that makes me a little bit happy.
Oh, can you log back in and check that out?
I can, yeah. I could still, if I paid for it, I still have the duelist title. Yeah, but again, it is virtual. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not tangible. I totally get the
So
differentiation.
this is turning into a video game podcast.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
But
It
if
is.
you
But I
feel
think
good
the-
about it, then
yeah.
what's the problem?
I think one of the
Right, there's a
reasons
balance.
why I like miniature games now, though, is like I played a lot of Age of Empires, Red Alert 2,
yeah.
you know, like
Age of
Command and
AoE
Conquer and
2.
things. Is it just seeing things from that perspective makes you want to see it on the table? Total War,
Guys
you know.
getting turned on right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, please stop. Too much. The amount of hours I've sunk into Age of Empires and Command
Yeah.
and Conquer as well. Oh my god.
Finding all them little glitches just to
Yeah, but
make
that's
it.
like that's the thing of like that's that feeds your tabletop
Yeah.
war game stuff, right? It did for me
Yep.
certainly. It's all like the perfect time, and I think the people that enjoy that kind of thing also enjoy that aspect as well. Like, there are other ways to control hundreds of tiny little men
Yeah.
shooting each other. Okay, sign
The
me
funny
up.
thing with video games, though, I can accept that they're out of scale.
Yeah.
Comes to wargaming, I absolutely detest it.
Really?
I hate if a building's this big and a person's this big. I'm like, I just it
Drives me insane.
it's a deep burn inside. Like, I just like, you see these little plastic kit houses and you're like, that's for 20 mil.
Okay, so I have a question. So I scratch built that little sci-fi like garage thing with like the floating office building next to it. Did that like hurt you inside?
No, because
it
that
was-
were cute. It were artsy. As in, it was. I mean, even the model that you painted with that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay,
But when you're doing something that's quite realistic, or you're doing like a fantasy battle,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know everything is representation.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you like somebody puts a castle on and it's just this little, and you're like, what? You're protecting your livestock. You know what I mean? It's like Jesus Christ. Portcullis is as big as a man. It's like, come on. They could siege it with a tramp. Gaming for me is a visual thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand why wargaming is 28 and 32 mil.
What would you want it to be?
I want the models to be 10 mil.
Oh, right. This whole philosophy where the older you get, the smaller the models.
Yes, and the more you can't see.
yeah.
But it does. I mean, if you imagine, like, again, my favourite game, Kings of War, it's about a visual.
Yeah.
And if you've got a horde tray that's that big and you're playing with 10mm troops on that,
It's a lot of dudes.
and you can say you've painted a lot of men.
Yeah.
And you might have spent, what, an hour?
I mean, yeah.
And it'll look amazing when you're playing.
Yeah,
Woods will look like woods, not 3 trees on a piece of MDF.
Yeah, okay.
A hill's
get
a
that.
hill, not a mound
Yeah.
that you can't put your tray on.
All right. That's a solid argument for like 15, 10 mil war
Yeah.
games. Not to jump back to this question, but where do I find joy in the hobby? It's in variety. So it was interesting how you guys mentioned the video games comparison, because a year ago I would have said that I enjoy playing video games more than I do painting a model. I really enjoy the end product of a finished mini. It's like really satisfying.
Yeah.
But lately I've discovered that for me to enjoy the painting process, I need variety. I need not only variety of scale, but of subject, and also I need gaming involved in that process. So when I discovered Song of Ice and Fire, I started to paint models off camera, off stream, and I was like, holy shit, I'm enjoying this so much. And so I need that gaming element. I need that variety of subject matter, of scale, and all that stuff. And so that's why I've discovered it's really important for me. I can't just like hone in on like GW stuff and do that day in and day out. I need to mix it up. That's it.
Well, that's very well said. Very succinct of
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Scott.
Yeah.
It's as if you didn't listen to a goddamn word we said and you were just thinking of your own answer this whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's because
Feels
I've
like
already
you-
said it in the podcast before. So
No,
it's
okay.
premeditated.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been dirty and central.
Just regurgitating that content, baby.
Just sorry, I was like reaching.
Well, yeah, God.
Do you want some chocolate?
No, just chuck it over there. The most inspired I've ever been in the hobby ever was when I got back into old Necromunda.
Yeah.
Right, and I just I painted up 2 gangs and built tons of homemade terrain and painted it all up for a game for next week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just I had 3 days off work, and I was like, I'm gonna do it all the evenings and my days off.
Yes.
And I just did it, and I was
Yes.
like, oh my god. And I had it wasn't that big a table. It was a small dining table. It was I don't know, 3 feet by 2.5 or something. But it was full of stuff, and everything was painted. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. This is the first time I've ever played a fully painted game of anything.
Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
I was 29, 30. And I was like,
It's like finally,
Yeah,
all my
yeah.
investment
I did it.
has led up to this point. Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm sure because everybody sees them out. As a kid, you see the tables with the models on, and you wanted that.
Yeah.
And when you're an adult, all you're doing is you're playing with the toys that you wish you had as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all it
And
is, isn't it?
I think the problem, maybe we're way sidetracking here, but I find one of the problems with modern war games, I'm not pointing all the fingers at Games Workshop, but they're geared to sell you lots of models to use in the game, and that's fine, but it's a really big task to get everything you need painted.
Yeah.
And when, as I said, the satisfaction of actually having everything there, and I have painted everything here, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's certainly a goal for me. With the big scale game, that's really hard to do. So, what I would maybe recommend to the goody peepees watching.
Ooh.
I said the thing.
You get 5 John bucks.
Guys,
Oh man, I forgot about John Bucks. God, I love that. Only good in the infant section of Walmart.
That's right. You can use that.
Yeah, you have 2 little babies.
yeah. I would find, maybe a small game that you can play, a little skirmish thing, or maybe just a small scale thing, and just get everything painted, and the satisfaction you will have is, I would say, immeasurable. I can really still remember the moment where I was like, yes.
Question for you: does it matter if your opponent also has their stuff painted?
I don't personally care, but
Okay.
because I was trying to introduce other people to
Yeah.
Necromunda, right? So I was
Right.
I had to paint it.
Oh,
gangs,
you
so
paint-
it was-
oh, wonderful. Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, it was they weren't proper gangs. It was Gene Stealer, Cult, and Chaos Cultist.
Okay. Didn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all.
Right.
That's amazing. Okay, so I promised we were going to get YouTube circle jerky, but I'm curious about.
Let's go.
We've talked about this before, and it was do you guys miss being a regular hobbyist? It's for a while, everything I did in my hobby was framed around what's going to work best for a video. I didn't ever just do normal things. I couldn't spend 6 months painting an army at my slow ass pace.
No.
You can't do that.
You tried to.
Guy, you are making episodic content right now that is actually working in a way that I didn't think was possible.
Yeah.
You are assembling a Titan, and each of your videos are getting over 100K views.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yep.
That is blowing me away. And heretofore, I would have not assumed that was possible. But what do you guys think about that concept?
It's working for me with the World War II build.
Okay.
But each section is a completed thing. Mm-hmm. So I think because you can actually frame it as 4 individual things.
Yeah.
But I was with you. There's no way because I've always wanted to build a gaming table to the best of my ability. But when
Right.
you're on YouTube, you can't. You
can't spend the time, yeah.
3 months doing something that you want to do.
Yeah.
But if you do the smaller sections and like what Squidmar's done at
Yes.
the moment,
Yes. Yeah.
building dioramas within a diorama, why hadn't I thought of that?
Here's a question for you. Do you think Squidmar's idea would work if it was shrunk down to 3 by 3 inches? No, right?
No.
Yeah.
There's the spectacle of it.
Yeah.
It's a
100%.
massive thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%.
As soon as you do anything as a small diorama or anything like that, I always find it's a quite hard sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always find that.
Unless it's has anyone done
something
Microscopic.
on a grain of rice.
Oh yeah, like the little burritos people make for like hamsters to eat with a tiny kitchen.
No, I mean like even smaller. Has anyone like cracked down after a microscope and tried to miniature paint?
Have you seen the people building things on top of grains of rice? Have you seen that?
What the heck is that?
Like carving actual sculptures.
I got one. I got a jeweler's microscope, but I haven't used it yet because it's so freaking powerful. I'm like, if I try to hold as still as possible, like looking under the microscope, my brush is going like. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, I know when I was trying to paint a 3mm model once, as in on shot. And like literally, your heartbeat's making you. Like because what I was doing it is looking through a macro lens and actually trying to do it on the screen. You've got no depth perception, and you can see your heartbeat.
Yeah. Oh my
putting
gosh.
the dots on the. I can't do it. I can't even see it.
I
So.
don't understand how you guys film the way you do. Like
I don't know as you do it.
Yeah, I know. We're like totally don't understand each other's techniques.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, what do you think about that guy? About the concept of maybe YouTube not allowing you to be a regular hobbyist? Do you believe that's a thing for you or no?
it's kind of the same answer as before in that I try to separate it out
Right.
as my hobby is the thing and my making videos is my job. Do you know what I mean? So I still get to enjoy my hobby.
Okay.
But yeah, like the episodic stuff, like you say. I mean, essentially, I am like documenting my hobby.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
I
it seems
try
like.
to do. And in as much as like I have to like intersperse other things because I can't just go like hey, why hasn't Guy like uploaded for 4 months? Ta-da! The Titan's done. Do you know what I mean? Like start to finish. Here's one video that's 5 hours.
No,
long.
yeah, you can't. So like
No
in
one
my
would
world, you
watch
could just
that.
never do a Titan.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yes.
how I would think of that.
So I think like what I try to do is I try to not just like say, hey, what I'm gonna do in this video is like build this bit of it. Lol, you've seen me like do everything I'm currently doing, like cleaning the things.
Hey, man, it's
putting it
working.
together, drilling it. So I like put some other narrative in there. So there's like the things people enjoying are like the blossoming friendship with Steve. With his amazing Titan army, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he's helping me out, and it's really cool. It's nice.
Bringing a vlog element to it.
You find a new angle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like people they know it's literally like the biggest kit they make, and it's like people are along for the ride for that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's expecting it to be like,
Yeah.
one video it's done.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. But like as I said, my first videos were like me basically showing you how I was going to paint my Necron army.
Or speed painting a single model.
Then I painted my Necron army, and I was like, well, actually, there's things in this video that are quite interesting, like how I made the wash that I used on all of the things that like helped set the stuff. So I'll do a video on that. How I did like the cheaty glowing effect. So I'll do a video on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're, like separate things. Yeah, it's like about context, I suppose.
For me as well, I think it's now for like a more established. You can't like I enjoy doing my hobby more now. Because obviously I've got somebody else filming me, I've got somebody else editing it for me. I can sort of step back and just do it and enjoy it more. And I could actually...
That sounds so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get there soon.
Yeah.
But no, what it is in... Now when I'm building a board, you're not... Because like when you're a YouTuber, you're constantly thinking, I need to frame this shot.
Yeah.
I need to capture this.
Yes.
And then you go... I'll get it, and then you realise you've stood in front of the camera, and you're like, for Christ's sake, so you're having to redo it or pretend that that's what you're doing.
Yeah, or the camera lens is shooting through my glasses.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
So,
you didn't press record.
you didn't press record, or you turned it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or computer. Yeah. That's so many things.
Yeah. So the stress of making content, because my hobby was filming the content. Because, as like you said, as in the camera equipment in the last 3 years, I enjoyed building and I enjoyed filming. Now I've got to a point where I think I know what I'm doing with that. I'm back to enjoying my hobby again.
Right. Once you've kind of figured a process out,
Yeah.
it's less enjoyable.
Yeah.
Right? At least for me, it is.
Yep. That's where it is. Especially when you come into like digital stuff. I think I've hit the limits of my equipment.
Okay.
So I've now lost not lost interest. That's bad wording. But when it comes to the train buildings, I'm always discovering something else new.
Yeah.
I'm always discovering a new process, even if I'm throwing something down a bit heavier than usual. And I'm like, oh, that was good. There's always something interesting to find out when you're hobbying.
I totally relate to that. Yeah.
But when you're turning your light on and shooting your camera out, and you're going, oh, well, how much different can you
This
do
get
with that
really
once you've
good.
got it perfect? You know.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that. All right. Wonderful. This podcast sponsor is Dave Taylor Miniatures, showing off his new Kickstarter campaign with these awesome, high-quality art books that feature specific miniature painters.
Dave Taylor's been involved in the hobby for more than 25 years in a professional capacity. I didn't even know that the hobby has been around for 25 years, but apparently Dave started it. Last May, he ran his first Kickstarter for the Art of series, which featured a book solely about the miniature monthly team, including Aaron Lovejoy, Elizabeth Beckley Bradford, and Matt DiPietro.
The other 2 books in the campaign featured Christoph Kyle and Anna Polanskak. The books were fulfilled in February, so that was 2 months ahead of schedule. So he is on top of his stuff.
In his Kickstarter campaign that's currently live right now, you can get some brand new books featuring the art of Chris Suri, Tommy Seol, and Sieni Ndie.
The books include full-color, high-resolution images of the completed works of the artists, their thoughts, philosophies, and approaches to their art. Because each book is written from the viewpoint of a new artist, the contents are always changing. That way, you always see a new perspective with each book.
Dave plans to bring out a new series each calendar year, so keep your eyes peeled in the next year for 3 new artists and 3 new books.
As aforementioned, the campaign is live right now and goes until June 1st. You can find links to it in the show notes and description below, depending on where you're listening. Thanks for sponsoring the episode, Dave Taylor. Now back to the main topic.
So we took a small break here, and we're coming back to you now. Now that Luke and I have started the after party a little bit earlier.
The drop
Cheers.
bar.
Cheers. And if you don't know what the after party is, if you are a member of the Trapped Under Plastic Patreon, you get access to a longer version of each episode, and we have an extra approximately 20 to 30 minutes called the after party, where you get to see, hear, think words of a lot of extra things that we do here, and we're about to kick that off once we pound these beers. But that's just
Pound the beers.
yes.
I'm gonna bash the living shit out of this beer.
Oh, is that not a
That's not a phrase?
That's not a phrase.
You don't say
Students do a lot of pounding.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Well, you'll find out later. Sorry.
We're in Nottingham. So, guys, that was what we call a smooth transition into shilling, and then we just bring the plane back up just before we hit the mountains. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So
The Shill Mountains.
Yeah, Shill Mountains.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not a Shill's beer, but they do make those. I want to talk about something that's a little bit less serious, guys. Okay, so I want to hear about. What is the dumbest thing you've ever done in the hobby, or what's like your biggest embarrassing moment? What's something you're like, I look back on it and I'm so embarrassed for it? Could be on camera, could be just something you were doing for fun, could be
injuries, could be
Can I answer for Luke?
Does he know?
Yeah, you were telling me about it today.
Beautifully, he caught his on video.
Yes, it did. I look like bloody. What's his name? Bell tolls for bloody
You spent like a full day super gluing
trees.
trees.
Seafoam to trees.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But like how many bottles of super glue did he use?
The 50-gram bottles, I went through about 6.
Why were you
yeah.
using super glue and not just like a tacky glue?
Yeah, ask him
This
more
was
questions.
before I knew about acrylic tacky glue.
Okay, fine. That's
Yeah,
fair.
you-
That's fair. Yeah.
Luke Towan he's not just a nice man. He taught me wrong.
Luke Towan uses tacky glue.
He does now.
Oh.
He didn't back then. Super glue and activator. That's how you did it.
Okay.
That's right.
So
And that's what I did on hundreds of trees. My face was out here.
Guys, Luke. What happened? Wait, what?
honestly, like the next 10 videos you did, your face looked like it had been melted off.
What happened? Did you have allergic reaction?
It was a mixture between. We found out that I'm actually allergic to polyurethane, but the super glue fumes did scorch the face. So it were rough.
It's
My face were falling off. It looked like the worst B movie you've ever seen in your life. As in, my skin was peeling because of the swelling.
Oh my gosh.
And my eyes was very dry because of the amount of super glue's nasty shit.
Yeah.
Especially when you're using that much and activator. And I had a fan on and window open,
and everything. It's still
YouTube police would be very happy.
Yeah.
They'd be very, very happy.
Yeah.
I still look like a sack of shit next day.
Oh my gosh.
No, it absolutely destroyed me. I'll try and find you the still as
That's
in the video.
amazing.
As in, I looked an absolute mess. Even my mum said, "You're disowned." She didn't. She loves me really.
Yeah. Okay, now tell us his most embarrassing story.
Oh, you've not cut yourself because you cut properly.
I have cut myself quite a few
Have
times.
you?
Yeah.
From cutting properly.
I love that, though. You gave the ultimate clap back of how chefs cut. And that was the absolute perfect response to everyone saying, don't cut towards you. Don't cut towards you. I'm like, if you know how to use a tool,
Yep.
you cut towards yourself.
The first time I gave myself a really nasty injury, my brother, the naked one.
The naked one.
Yeah, I was cutting towards myself, and he were cringing. He went, "Don't cut to yourself. It's making me feel weird." And I just went straight through my thumb.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm an absolute nightmare when it comes to hobbying. If I filmed all the the amount of time I just walk into tables, I drop bags of cement on my feet. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a problem.
I'm thinking of what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I need to get this done.
You're not present though.
I'm not present, and then
Yeah.
I'll put something down, and I won't find it for 6 months,
Okay.
and then I'll
yeah.
stand on it.
Yeah.
You're in the right business then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing, Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know anything that you've done, as in you've not documented it.
Well, a lot of the things I do are like slow burn, stupid things, right? So, I never used to prime my models, and I know a lot of people don't, but when they're game pieces, essentially, you kind of should.
I think Goobs do a video on this.
Yeah. But with my like laissez-faire painting style, I painted like it took ages like customizing this little Necromunda gang with like Space Marine Scout parts and like Beastmen from Age of Sigmar. So they've got like the Ungors or whatever they are with the horns and stuff. So it's like Beastman army, right? It's cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I just started slapping paint on. And then, I like put them in storage and then like played a couple of games and put them in storage. And then I like look at them again and they're totally chipped to bits.
Oh no.
And I'm like, no, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Especially those metal models. Like,
Yeah, there weren't really many metal parts, so I don't know what I was doing with them. But man, I was using like really thin layers of paint and yeah.
Thinning paint.
I know, right?
Wow,
That's
crazy.
the first mistake.
crazy.
Amateur.
Lob it on like tar.
Straight out of the pot.
Yeah.
I think I got one that I haven't told in the podcast yet. So I told the story about where an X-Acto knife rolled off a table and stabbed me in the thigh.
Yeah.
At a GW, and I had to have an ambulance called, and my pants got ripped off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the story.
That's funny.
What?
Yeah, I
'Cause you
told
were a
it
kid.
before. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I was a kid, and he was like, "If you're bleeding still, I have to call an ambulance." And I was like, "I'm still bleeding."
Inside thighs, where all the blood vessels are.
Yeah, I know.
It's nasty.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
and I was like, and I was conscious, and he still tore my pants off. I was like, I could have took my pants off, dude. Like, what the heck?
This is getting hot.
Yeah. But no, real story. So poster tack is just terrible. I hate poster
What,
tack.
for sealing
Just for
wounds?
anything.
Even for posters.
Strong disagree.
You know, for attaching a model to a handle,
No.
it is the worst shit in the world.
It is when you dry brush
It
like
sucks, okay? Like, whatever. So, and the reason it sucks for me is because I am painting a model for 20, 30 hours, and I'm, like, fucking leaning on that thing. And over time, it's just like, I want it to just stay there. I want to move. So I don't like it.
Super
I
good.
wonder if
I do that sometimes.
what temperature is your painty room?
It's like a 69, a 72, somewhere
What's
in there.
What's that in proper?
I don't fucking know.
Degrees.
I don't know.
What is
Let's
that?
get a live conversion.
in the Queen's units.
So are you saying it needs to be warmer?
No, I'm saying maybe
Colder.
my room is usually quite cold. I quite like working
That's
in
true.
the
The
cold.
temperature does.
And like the
Because
the
it hasn't
tacky
got a
stuff is
soul.
probably I know, right?
Okay.
It is warm when I go in there, but as soon as I go, it's like,
We can agree on this, though, that not all poster tack is created equal, right?
no.
I recently found the holy grail of poster
No, you didn't.
tack.
That stuff sucks ass.
No. It's not
The
that
museum
stuff.
wax.
No, it's, yes.
They make that same company makes something
know.
called Museum Putty.
I know, and I bought it, and that's
fucking
amazing.
amazing.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I had this green stuff from Home Depot, and when I used it to hold bases down, it just stuck to everything, and I couldn't get it off. It's so terrible. So I took some Goo Gone, which is this like orange, citrus flavored, not flavored, scented product.
Like Swarfiga.
Yeah, and I put it on my palette, on my wet palette, and I was taking it with a brush, and I was trying to get it off by wiping it and letting it kind of disintegrate the putty. And of course, what I did, I like my brush.
Yes.
And I did it again and again and again, and I was like, what am I fucking doing? This is not a fucking paint. This is a goddamn chemical. Because I went into the bathroom and did the whole like thing in chemistry class where you're like kind of like spraying water on your tongue and like getting it off.
Station.
But yeah, so that's a story for why maybe you shouldn't lick brushes, because you would do it with things that aren't non-toxic.
Yeah.
Something else that I've done that's very, very stupid is very, very stupid. I could literally do like a jackass thing. But no, I used to keep resin upstairs on the 3rd floor, and I have like a little bathroom in there, and it's cool. So I used to keep all the resin in there for it was cool. Where the bottles was, a little bit leaked on the floor. So how do you get polyurethane resin off things? Acetone.
Yeah.
No, you don't suck it. No.
But it tastes
So
so good.
acetone. So I put acetone down. I cleaned it all up. It came off all up the bathroom floor and everything. And I thought, right, that's clean. I'll bleach it and clean it and make sure it's all right. After I've been on my hands and knees, like scrubbing it, I stood up and just blacked out because acetone,
fumes.
bleach. See, it's nearly chloroform.
You chloroformed yourself.
I stood up. I saw like dots and just went
Boom.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Claire came running upstairs and she was like, "You're a fucking knob." But the reason I did it is because she was going to shout at me that there was resin on the floor.
Yeah.
So I nearly killed myself in the process.
This is your fault, wifey.
yeah.
It's your fault. Well, that's
John.
why you have Josh employed, so he can pick up your corpse one day.
Yeah. Well, now I have unit space and stuff like that.
He's shaking his head off camera right now. Like, this fucking guy.
My boss is a prick.
He agrees.
That's what it says in his T-shirt.
I'm with this prick.
All right, John, what about you?
Couple things. When I did the budgie, I licked cadmium yellow paint. When I was
Is it actually cadmium yellow though now?
Yeah.
golden
Yes,
golden
gold
acrylic
sulfate,
is artist
yeah.
acrylics. That's cadmium.
Yeah.
That's cancer in a jar.
Yeah.
Did that. I licked my.
Gives with the C.
I had a big brush when I was gap filling a 3D print with more resin than UV clear it. Licked that brush.
I've done
Oh my God, are you serious? And you're alive still?
Dude, it's one brush full.
Did you feel sick or ill or anything?
It tastes terrible.
You licked
And it like coats,
fucking liquid resin, my dude?
It coats your tongue too.
It's plant-based. It's soy. It's edible, isn't it? It's one of his 5 a day.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Goober Town's video where he just makes a whole
Multivitamins.
bottle of it to prove it.
Multivitamins. And then there's a classic story that I've told before where I dropped an entire bottle of plastic cement onto my crotch. And it went all on. And I was like soaked.
Yeah.
All the way down the fanny. Is that the right term?
No.
Sure.
You're not a guy.
Yeah.
Do I have
No,
a
yeah.
fanny?
Well,
Yeah,
well,
you have a fanny.
if
Why
that's
not?
what you're carrying, you know.
I don't want to ask.
Okay.
Through the gooch and then back
the gooch.
back up. Like
Did your butt cheeks get like glued together?
they didn't get glued together, but they were like it was like a slip and slide in there. It was an entire bottle of that Mr. Hobby stuff.
The blue cap?
Oh no, sorry, the Tamiya one.
Oh, the green
Tamiya
cap.
Tamiya
Fin.
green cap. It was a brand new bottle. Fucking putting 2 pieces together, knock it forward, and the whole thing goes
Clap off, you spilled Tammy.
go.
Right.
The worst one is that when you get, like really thick, like Zap. Is it Zap
Zappa
green
Cap?
or no? Zap pink, as in the really
thin stuff.
Yeah, that's-
Oh my gosh.
That stuff finds holes in bottles.
It gets
Yes.
everywhere.
Right? Have you ever
yeah.
been like sealing stuff with it, and you've got it on the inside of like your tracksuit bottoms?
No, I have done that. Luckily.
God, that burns.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I imagine it would stick to your leg hair too.
It does, yeah, because the heat from the like polyester or nylon just goes.
Yeah.
It like sucks all the moisture out of your skin and makes you look like
Yeah.
and then when you're taking your trousers off later, you're like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've done the same with resin. I've literally been in my shorts casting,
Yeah.
and I've got a dribble down my leg, and I just watched it cure, and I went, that were a bad idea.
Yeah.
So peeling that off, it was horrendous.
Goops taught me.
I didn't
that-
need that skin anyways.
No.
Goops taught me that superglue drying is an exothermic process, meaning it releases energy as it cures, which
Yep.
is why it's
Gets
so,
so
hot.
hot.
Yeah.
One tip that I've been told by the super glue, just a freebie, Wayne, he says don't screw the lid on your super glue over tight, because if there's a little bit of oxygen in the lid, the super glue doesn't dry and you don't get that. So if you completely take away the oxygen, it dries quicker.
Interesting. Okay.
So if you leave some air in there, so if it's just a loose bottle top, it's less likely to dry the lid to the bottle.
Interesting.
And I've done that, and I don't get the crap on the
Crap
you
on
know,
the top.
at top.
Interesting.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, bollocks. But it works. You know when somebody tells you something, and you go, this guy's pulling my plonker.
Yeah.
No, it's like, it's one of them, and no, it's true.
Okay.
I just want to slightly interject here and
Yeah.
just say I am not a brush licker. I know all of you three disgusting
I was always
reprobates are.
against it, but when I started watching these guys and I started thinning paints and moving stuff around, I was like, I've got a bit too much paint on my brush.
Here we go.
Yeah,
No.
and then and some paint, some washes taste all right.
All right. Yeah. I'm sure they do.
Pro Acryl's my favorite.
It's besides the
Right.
point, though, right?
Let me just bring my grandma back into this podcast one more time. The reason I don't brush lick is because I used to when I was little. And then my grandma saw me painting something, and I licked my brush, and she slapped the paintbrush out of my hand.
Did she call you a
And,
twat again?
And my mouth, probably, at the same time, right? Proper. No messing around.
No.
Because she knew somebody who was one of the painters who had the radium paints
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
yeah,
clock
yeah.
faces.
Clock faces.
And, like, they, like, burned away and, like, rotted away their mouths.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, I'm just painting models with, like, red paint. It's not radioactive.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to get slapped again, so I don't think I actually said that.
You didn't talk back.
No.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah, that's maybe I should get back into it just to teach her a lesson.
Yeah.
Right.
She's dead now anyway. She can't slap me.
Yeah.
Well,
The way I look at it is that if you've ever eaten McDonald's, you've put in way worse things in your mouth than a non-toxic acrylic paint.
Quite possibly.
But don't put anything that's cadmium in your mouth.
or
We should
anywhere
say
on
that
your body.
Trapped Under Plastic does not condole any of these acts. as,
No. This is purely for entertainment value, not educational in any capacity.
Yeah, this is trained by, experts.
Is that what we are?
I'm a professional.
It's quite stretched. to say
I've
we've
said
been
in some
entertaining.
videos, professional teachers, noob, and things like that, so I am actually a professional. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine.
I am not a professional.
Let me just take that back immediately.
yeah.
Welcome to the end of the podcast. Huge thank you to our guests. Round of applause, maybe? Everyone in the room?
It's just us. You assholes, don't clap for yourselves. Don't clap for yourselves. Because there is
I'm
a
clapping for
tradition in Trapped Under Plastic that our guests bring us gifts. So I expect to see a bag of dirt and some resin shavings from a Titan. I don't see any of that stuff. Okay, guys? Thanks for this, man. But this has been awesome.
Yes.
This has been awesome.
Yes.
There you go. You
Whoa!
You
A
got that?
kingly
There you go.
kiss.
That's
Okay.
gonna be a meme, you
Yeah,
know, right?
yeah,
Like that's
sure.
trapped forever.
Okay. Trapped forever.
Trapped forever.
Under
Gift.
plastic.
Under the
but
plastic.
where can people find you?
Who are you?
Yeah, dude. Where on the internet should we look for you?
Pornhub.
That was the worst way to answer that question.
Yeah. You did this.
I did upload to Pornhub
Yeah,
once.
you did.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
Was it your brother?
No, it was me. When the
Luke,
Dark
stay on track.
Sorry.
Answer the goddamn question.
Dark Imperium.
Dark Imperium. I laid naked on bed with Dark Imperium box.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I have that picture. Or I have a version of it, don't I? For the calendar?
Desktop.
Your version doesn't have the Dark Imperium box.
No. It's a much smaller box.
It was that cheaper starter set that Games Workshop do for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What
So yeah, YouTube channels, Instagram, Patreons. Where can we find you?
You just named it. Yeah. YouTube, Midwinter Minis. Instagram, MW Minis, because someone had taken Midwinter Minis very
Bastard.
cheekily.
Oh, wow.
I had that as well.
It was you.
I had that as well.
You can find Luke at Midwinter Minis on Instagram.
I owe it to you for all my success. No, it's Geek Gaming Scenics for the shop. It's Geek Gaming Scenics, guess what, for the YouTube. It's Geek Gaming Scenics for Instagram. I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
We'll have it all linked down in the description. So if you
And
want to
I
check out
did
their
a video
stuff,
today.
we'll have that link there too. Because we mentioned it at least 4 times.
It hasn't done very well.
It's the goddamn ATST getting hit by the logs. It's a very iconic scene that everybody loves and nobody fucking cares.
And it came out on May the 4th of all days. Oh, Star Wars Day.
You know
problem
what?
is-
Go fuck yourself.
We've arrived.
This is it. This is Trapped Under Plastic in the UK. We will catch you on the
Flippity
Flippity
flop.
floppy flops.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well,
Okay.
we went out with a bang.
That's for sure.
That's what I wanted to do. My ears are fucking warm.
Holy shit.
I bet